Hello and welcome to the 12 a.m. Penny for a Tale plays Symbaroum. Specifically, a scenario that myself and D South made for a contest coming up for Symbaroum. Details will be underneath in the chat, upcoming before we end, as well as in the details section of the YouTube video. So if you like what you see, feel free to check us out again May 1st, 2nd, and the rest of May. Vote for us so that we win, because obviously this might be the best Symbaroum scenario there ever was. It is titled A Rite of Passage, but enough about me. Let's go to Alex.
Hey everyone, my name is Alex Roth. My Twitch handle is Sailor Taco Cat. My name is Alex Roth, and you can find me on Facebook, and those are kind of the only two places you can find me. I'm glad to be playing with everyone again, and I'm super excited for this.
All right. Ian?
My name is Ian James. You can't find me anywhere except this Twitch channel. And I don't know, my character's kind of a clean slate, so.
I mean, the big thing for you, Ian, is this Sunday, I believe, 8:30 p.m.
Yeah,
Ian,
we're getting out that one.
Yeah, Ian will be continuing his run of Hell's Rebels, a Pathfinder AP, which I have the honor to be a player of. Come watch us do shenanigans. I have a baseball bat, and Ian has cultivated a wonderful world to explore as we try to overthrow the tyrannical bad guys, while trying not to be tyrannical ourselves.
It's lit.
It's lit.
Hell's Rebels, man.
All right, and we have a special guest with us today, and that is Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, please go ahead.
Hello, I'm Mr. Smith. You can check out my blog at iamMrSmith.com.
Well said. Well said. And one of my favorites, Christina.
Oh, I'm a favorite. Hi, I'm Christina. Don't really have much to plug in. I just like playing with these people and mainly the GM here.
Woot,
This
woot.
is the second time I've been here. I might come back.
Hopefully.
Who knows?
Hopefully. It's the dental that really keeps people coming back.
You got me. I don't know how, but
It's the dental, I tell you. That's all people want.
I expect my paycheck in a week.
It's dental.
No.
Everything's dental.
it's dental.
Yeah,
Why am I
I've
T-Jack then?
taken, I've been through WebMD. I'm pretty good dentist.
He has the baseball bat, right?
Yeah.
See, I
So,
thought it was the eyes. I thought you were a fantastic optometrist, considering how many people here have glasses on.
oh, that's a good point. I should have went into
Yes.
that field.
Somebody in our, I think somebody in our chat last game said that everybody had glasses on. I was like, oh man, we all did.
Yeah, I mean it's the nerd like passage. We all
It
like damage
is.
our eyes so our creativity can flourish. That has to be it. All right, so
It has nothing to do with staring at bright lights all the time.
yeah, it can't
Yeah.
be.
It is props.
I refuse to believe that has anything to do with anything.
Oh, look, he got glasses on too now.
Oh man, yeah.
Nice!
I think we can all assume that Mr. Smith has glasses as well, because
Yeah.
It has to be, or they've appeared like they have with me.
Yeah. Just
Oh,
put
look, proof.
let's put glasses right
Oh,
on the
man.
table. It's awesome stuff. So tonight we are going to be playing a Rite of Passage. Once again, it's a adventure that myself and D South will be publishing soon. His blog information will also be on the details as well as in the chat later on. The Rite of Passage is meant to be a campaign starter adventure that focuses on the wilds of Dovukar and the society that inhabits it, specifically the barbarians. Our young heroes characters are playing young villagers who will be participating in trials to become adults. This allows a unique view of Davokar from a new non-Ambrian perspective. compared to the Promised Land, which could be said to be a very Ambrian focused beginning. So this is our attempt to give people who kind of want to start with something a little bit different, something to play with. So they have been read up on their characters. I believe so far none of these wonderful actors have played Symbaroum, but the beautiful thing about Symbaroum is it's really easy to jump into. It really just takes less than an hour to understand it and to make a character, which I encourage everyone to check it out. It's a free league published game now, I believe, since the previous company merged with it. And that's also the creators of Coriolis and Mutineer Zero. So a lot of good stuff. But enough about the technical game stuff. Let's dive in. So, the Rite of Passage begins at sunset in Godinja on the spring equinox, where the characters and their families have arrived for the initial ceremony. We are going to kind of have a zoom in on each character as they gather. There are a large bonfire in the center. Daylight kind of shifts over the horizon, and so you have these beautiful reds and gold trickling through the trees. You're right in Gadinja, the clan territory. So it's in Davukar Forest, but on the edge of it. So you still have the presence of the forest surrounding you, and very much in tune with the nature and the feel of the forest, as it kind of just been a place that you've always lived. And might always will be, even though it's one of the most dangerous places that you guys know of, especially as you go deeper in. But today is the day. You have been working, you have been studying, you have been learning, and today you begin your journey as being who you want to be. No longer held within the roof of your family or tribe or friends. Now is the time for you to blaze your own path. So let's have a zoom in, and we'll start with whoever is most excited and probably has something in mind, just of what your character looks like, what he or she is kind of looking about, what's the general feel as the camera kind of zooms in on this new perspective individual.
Kavarik is a young man, stubble on his face. He's looking about, wide-eyed. As I recall, the sun is peeking over the horizon. Looking about at his mates and his family and his friends that have gathered, eager to take on the next step. His hair is short, cropped, kind of spikish. He's got leathered skin. He's been working the fields for quite some time. But he awaits the next step.
All right.
Excellent.
Magbrod is a darker skin male with long dark hair. In it there are feathers, and he is dressed in very earthen kind of tones, lots of animal hide. He has some symbols and things that make it look like that he is a part of mysticism or magic. He has a smile on his face, which might actually be contradictory to his parents, who might be a little bit not so smiley. But he seems to be very excited about what's happening, and he can is anticipating it, and he's very excited. And he would be looking over at Nia, I believe that Nia, at least a couple of times, and just kind of give him a excited nod, like, yeah, man, we're here, we're doing this. This is it.
All right.
Nia is nervous, excited. Prefers a larger crowd, but kind of like a house cat. He doesn't like when people look at him too long. So he's gonna slip out actually for a little bit if he can. He doesn't like the size of the crowd, but no, he's pretty nondescript, quiet, but not necessarily shy.
Excellent. All right, Koma.
Moma is a fairly muscular woman with long blonde hair braided up so it's out of the way. Her eyes are piercing, looking at everyone coming into her home. But there's a hint of excitement still behind it because it's the time. It's the time to prove what she is and how great she is. When she moves around, she is obviously feels like she's at home and just seems to be almost eager to go into the woods or wherever.
Excellent. So there's some revelry to be had as, people from different tribes are gathering. Maybe they haven't seen the other in a long time, and people are drinking. There are witches kind of in the outskirts practicing certain rituals to forecast the future of the young ones, as well as the general outlook of crops and the barbarian tribes, clans as a whole. But all it takes is for a single step of this large bearded man in a long bearskin cloak. That single step silences everyone. And there's not even that kind of dying down. It's almost as if everyone was just kind of waiting and watching. And even the young ones take the cue as High Chieftain Tharaban steps before the flames. All those who seek to undergo the Rite of Passage, step forward.
Suddenly, I'm behind Magbrod.
Dog steps forward.
Koma will step forward.
You gonna go?
Do we have a choice, man? Come on. Come on. Magbrod would step forward and kind of like urge Nia to do the same.
I don't like this.
You're fine, man. We're cool. We got this. It's all
Yeah.
good.
And especially Niha can feel the weight of this man's eyes as he individually go to each one, resting on it as if he sees something you cannot begin to understand. And maybe he spends a little bit more time looking at you, Niha. But his eyes shift up to the crowd that has gathered. Today begins a sacred ritual, one that unifies the barbarian clans. At the bonfire ceremony in Karvosti, you and his large, broad arm stretches out and points right at you, Koma. You will become an adult. And as his hands kind of shift over the heads of the rest, encompassing them into his words, he continues. Now starts the journey to show your families, villages, and yourself that you are strong. You are capable. You are a barbarian. So, young ones, step forward. Tell us your name and your clan, who you represent. And he kind of takes a step back, his arms crossed.
Kavak steps forward. I'm Kavak. of Gaio clan.
I don't want to be I don't want to perpetuate a pattern, so I'm going to step forward second. I don't want to be last, but Nia of NUI clan.
Magbroad would step forward soon after, right after him, and say, Magbroad, Clan Enui.
And Koma would step forward. Koma of Godinja.
You do yourself and your clan honor by taking that first step. Now, and he reaches out, gesturing to three individuals wearing the armor and the visage of what you guys know to be the Wraith Guards, the hand-picked guards that are given to the high chieftain of the barbarian tribes from all of the tribes, the top warriors. And these three come forward. One looks very kindly, a woman with blonde hair and with some black streaks and black paint just down her lip. The other kind of has his fist clenched as he moves forward. It's obvious he doesn't want to be here. And then finally, there is one who is, he looks well built, but not as big as the others. He carries a sword by him, and he has this content look about him as if remembering his time in this very moment. These Wraith Guards, Hive Chieftain Theraben says, will accompany you through Davokar as trial givers and protectors. You should thank them for volunteering their time. And
Koma will try to do a traditional, thank you gesture, whatever that would be.
it's generally, it kind of depends on the clan, but generally just a well-eyed stare and a good clasping of the hands generally shows a proper amount of respect. And as you step forward, the woman, the first to approach, says, I am Verema. It's a pleasure. The next one doesn't step forward, but kind of looks at each of you and says, I'm Luthar. And finally, the last one, who doesn't seem agitated or excited. He just kind of looks at each of you and gives a knowing smile and says, I'm Turan. Therabin then gestures, clearing a path through the people gathered, where the Wraith Guards lead you towards the darker parts of the forest. You see your family and friends eyeing you from the crowd, maybe in a judgmental way, a proud way, but each one knows that whatever happens these next coming weeks will change you. So, as you are walking deeper into the forest, the Wraith Guards have taken a an arrowhead formation, one in front with the other two on either side of you as you guys gather in their center. They continue forward. They're not really conversational, but some of you guys haven't seen each other, or maybe you have seen each other at one point in time. How do you cut the awkward silence, so to be, as the kind of hours drag on as you're moving in this forest?
Well, obviously, Magbroad and Iha seem familiar with each other. So to cut to break the ice, be like, so you guys are close to each other from your tribe?
Yeah, yeah, we're in the same tribe. I've known Nia for, years, and I think of him like a little brother sometimes.
And then interrupting that, the slap. And I just move it, and there's like a paste, and it's like pigmented, so I'll just cover my face with it, like it's like a warm mask,
Mm-hmm.
because we're traveling. Magbud.
Nice.
I have some left.
Quite quirky, this one.
Oh, I'm not that bad. I'll just do a little more. Clean it off and just keep walking.
We're really great friends.
Clearly.
Hey, man, what's up?
Not much here.
Not much. I guess we're walking. We're walking. I'm Magbroad.
Gavrik,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
nice to meet you. What brings
And
you out
I'm
what brings you out to this?
here to get my adulthood on. Guess same
Let's
for
hope
everybody.
Let's hope it's as interesting as we think it is.
I mean, it's got to be, right? I mean, everybody talks about this. This is like the thing you do. This is it. This is it. We are finally going to be considered adults. We get to do what we want now. This is going to be great.
We'll be considered adults afterwards. Be so much better.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with these parts of the woods?
I'm not.
Magbroad would look at Nia and kind of go, like, a little bit, maybe.
I'm
I
sure
think more so than
you'll
me.
enjoy it.
Oh, so you're familiar with it?
I come from here, so a little bit.
What's
I
it
believe
like?
we're gonna be. Well, it's about much like the rest. The deeper we go, it's gonna get a lot more interesting, I assume. But I have no idea what they expect us to find. As she'll look at the wraiths and be like,
What do they look like? What do the wraiths look like? And do they have any weapons on them? Like, how intimidating are these guys?
Yeah. So
Don't like the look of Luthar.
yeah. Verima looks kind of she's blonde hair with kind of black streak with some black lines on her face. She's carrying this two-handed kind of a bastard sword strapped to her back. Both of her hands are kind of wrapped in these tough leather with these what looks kind of like pieces of metal tapered at the end of it. There's definitely like stained blood on it, so she has definitely punched someone at least within the last week. She generally kind of has this like knowing smile on her face, and every now and then she'll look at you guys, but she's the one leading. Lothar is completely different. He's bald. His eyes are kind of like this dark gray. He has this huge battle axe, and he carries it now that he's kind of walking. And you guys can see the strength of it as his like arms flex every now and then as he's carrying this large thing. The other one, Theraban, it's a little bit more of a lighter build, but still very well toned. He has two swords at his side now that you see him walking. But each one has scale mail that has the emblem of the Wraith Guard kind of on the back of it. And the Wraith Guard, as you know, are these warriors picked from the best of the tribes to protect the High Chieftain.
I thought there were 3 people following Theraban.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
These
have
are
the
the
three.
three.
Yeah, Theraban is not with you.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so as you guys are talking, Verema kind of pauses and starts kind of walking alongside you with this smile on her face.
So when is the next step coming?
Oh, it's coming up. We have something special planned. You're pretty lucky, young ones. I mean, not all times do people coming of age get to have the Wraith Guards checking in on them during the. But these are troubling times. I mean, Ambrians are diving into the forest, bringing back all sorts of trinkets and things they have no business to bringing back.
Do you
and
kill him?
Oh, every time. But
Is that what the blood is?
oh, you saw it, huh?
Hard to miss.
No, this was I've just came back from Thistlehold, and now before you start judging me, Thistlehold is not the it's not like all of Ambrian territory. It has some nice barbarian places attached to it, and there's some lovely people there. So if you ever find yourself in that area down south of Davokar, and you exit the forest, I encourage you to at least check out some of the establishments owned by our people at Thistlehold. But yeah, this like swarmy, bad mouth Ambrian said something barbarian, so I had to teach them and educate them about what exactly barbarians do and are.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I was on leave, taking a little break from my position just to check around with my family, so I might as well get into some trouble.
They
Do you
must think the best things of us.
Oh, there's just one thing we've communicated is that we're tough.
Do you think we'll actually encounter any Ambrians today?
Oh no, we're pretty far north, so I don't anticipate any Ambrians over in this area. But you know, they always surprise me every now and then, and
You'd be idiots to come this far north.
oh, that's just Ambrians in general.
What do you anticipate?
Well, our first trial, the first ones picked out for you, is actually a tradition held by some of the tribesmen. Not everyone gets the opportunity to do this, but for some reason, your families were quite adamant about having you participate in this particular trial.
And what is this trial?
Well, my young friend, what is your name?
Kavarik.
Kovarek. We will come to a clearing, and when I give the signal, you are not to speak until I give you instruction to do otherwise. But there is a temple there, and when you find this temple, you will know what to do.
All right then.
It's special to our people, and especially to some of your family. In fact, I believe it was chosen particularly for some of your parents did this exact thing when they first came to their first trial. But we still are at least a day's walk away, so I suggest to have nice, happy, moving conversation, and let's not try to drag our feet too much. Yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent. And she kind of pats Niha on the back. I like the war paint boy. It's good. You look fierce.
Thank
He
you.
is.
If you could smell it.
I'd rather not, but I'm sure if your enemy did, they'd surely be in trouble. And she kind of walks forward, and you see the one of the other two, Luthar, kind of shake his head while Taran is just kind of minding the forest as a whole. He seems most at ease in this place. So you guys walk for a full day, and after a night of travel, as you guys continue on, your feet are weary. You guys are led to a clearing where a large rock crevasse splits the earth. There are tribal markings nearby that you guys understand to mean temple and caution. But as you look around, there is no temple to be seen. The Wraith Guards move closer to the rock, but staying at the edge of the clearing. They hand each of you a palm-sized mosaic tile with this almost faded, rusty gold. Verema looks at you all with a smile. Well, young ones, you remember that instruction I gave you the other day?
I believe so.
From
No
here,
talking, right?
yeah, from here on out, you are forbidden from speaking until you enter the temple. And they
Bark
each.
will take a piece of cloth and rip it off to essentially wrap around or gag his own mouth with it.
Nice. And in each of them, after handing you the mosaic tape, take a step back and look as if the next steps are in your hands.
Bark will step
Mac
forward,
Rod-
but look back at the rest of, look back at everyone else.
Are you ready?
As Kavarik moves forward, you see that there is this large stone at the edge of the dark pit. Inscribed on it is Leap of Faith.
Kavarik, a gagged smirk comes across his face.
Yeah, and you see kind of like roughly 3 meter wide this crevasse is, with no bottom that can be seen in the shadows of the black chasm. You do see some sturdy vines that look like they could support weight growing over the edge and dangle into the crevasse.
So it appears, does it look as if we need to cross or jump into?
It doesn't look like there would be anything on kind of the other side of it. It's not. It's about 3 meters gash in the earth, and on the other side you just see kind of a little bit more of a clearing and then more forest, but definitely no sign of a temple. But below you, there's just kind of the darkness enveloping any light that kind of crawls into it.
He'll kneel down to the vines and check them in terms of their strength or what have you.
You pull on some. Some of them break apart, while others kind of hold your weight as you put more pressure on it.
As I do look at these, looking at the Wraith Guards, do their expressions change at all?
Ooh, good question. You can make a vigilant test.
All right. D20 plus my vigilant number.
So you roll a d20, and you want to get underneath your vigilant.
Copy.
Yeah, and for these people, no modifier.
I rolled a 6. My vigilant is 10.
Excellent. So you succeed. You're not getting much from Lothar other than kind of this agitated impatience. But Taryn and Varama are both watching you carefully. And as you tug at the vines, Verma has this kind of smug look on her face, the same way that you might have if you're looking at someone about to do something you know is bad. If that makes sense, you know, that kind of like...
Okay, no, I got it. So he'll stand up, look down the hole or the crevice, look at everyone else, and take a leap of faith.
All right.
Goma's eyes are growing big because he just jumped.
Yeah, he
We'll
jumps.
specifically smirk at Varima.
Yeah, and before kind of like the darkness envelopes you, you see her give like this kind of twinkle of her eyes and smile, and then yeah, you are gone. How about the rest of you?
I'll look at Niha and Magrod and then to the abyss of darkness of where Navrek just jumped, or Kavrek just jumped, and sort of go like, hmm? I'll hold the mosaic really close and look around, sort of shrug, and then jump right after. I didn't hear a thump, right?
Correct. You heard
All right.
nothing.
And then, yeah, I'm definitely jumping after him, but making sure to hold onto the mosaic very carefully, because I don't know what's in there.
All right. So the next one to jump is Koma. She leaps, and the darkness envelopes her as well. No sound is heard as she falls into it.
Right, so it looks like it's just Nia and myself up here.
Hmm.
Give you that look I always give you. Just no expression, no nothing. Just are we about to die or what? Mm-hmm.
Probably. So, you said in our character kind of development phase that I can shapeshift,
You can.
correct?
Mhm.
I'm gonna turn into a bird.
All right. Go ahead and make a resolute test.
Okay, let's hope I do this. Oh, actually, that's not that bad.
I happen to have novice level shape shifting as well.
Ooh, okay, so yeah. So I rolled an 8. My resolute is a 15. Sorry, resolute is a 15.
Excellent. So you're able to turn into a bird.
I am, and it's going to be it's I don't know.
A corvid.
Yeah,
A magpie.
a magpie. Yeah, it'll be a magpie. No,
Ugliest of corvids.
no, it'll just be a finch. It's gonna be a finch.
All right.
Just not a small bird. So he'll do that, and then kind of flutter around, knowing that Niha might be able to do the same.
I'm gonna get shot then. Okay, so I'm rolling against resolute. What does that mean?
Yeah, so it's just a test against your own resolute.
So that is a. How many sides on a die am I rolling for that?
20-sided.
Yeah, 20-sided die.
And you want it to be under that number.
Yeah, match or go under.
So I'm rolling 20.
Oh, that's
Oh, no.
really bad.
That's terrible.
That is
That's a
horrific.
failure.
So what does this look like? Obviously, I mean, do you jump and then anticipate yourself going to become a bird, or do you just kind of?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man.
So you jump and your hands extend, and what you normally would feel would be like, all right, I'm flying, and then gravity enters the equation, and you start falling quick, as the darkness envelopes you. How about you, Magbrod? What are you doing?
Did the tile I keep, did that shift with me? Like if I stuck it in my
Yeah, your
whatever.
equipment kind of just gets absorbed with you.
Cool. Okay. So I just see both of these people fall. Like, oh well, everybody has fallen. All right. So I'm gonna kind of like flit there for a moment. And what are the guards doing? Are they all kind of just like laughing their asses off? Or...
You see, what's his name?
I like this motion, by the way.
Everyone should do that. You see Luthar hand Varema some shillings. He looks pretty pissed.
That's funny. All right. So Magbrod will fly down and he's going to cautiously kind of like start to take a look and see where everybody is, if everybody's dead down here.
You find them on pikes.
I leave. Bye forever.
So actually, as you move down, and this applies to everyone as well, you guys land in a tangle of roots and vines hidden by the shadows. You see that close to the walls, kind of where the vines are these sharp rocks and thorn brambles with blood and skeletons kind of encased in it. As your eyes adjust, though, you see the entrance to a stone temple at the end of the crevasse, now that you're at the bottom of it. But you are unharmed.
I will-
Kvark having been the first one helping everyone out of the vines.
Not a thank
and
you.
then clearly noting that they're missing one as he counts. 2.
Look at the weird flying thing nearby.
Yeah, Magbrod would, fly down. He wouldn't make a sound because obviously he still didn't want to talk during this. So he would fly down and land next to Nia and kind of poke at him a little bit and make sure that he's okay.
Tilt head with questioning look to Nia. Like, as silent as, bro, what is that bird doing to you?
Ark looks really confused at the situation right now. He sees 2 out of the 3 people he traveled with and a bird.
Yeah. So,
Lands on my shoulder.
yeah.
So as you guys look around, you see that the temple consists of 13 pillars of a circular chamber. You guys can either do a lore check if you have that ability, or roll cunning at -2.
So I guess at this point, Magbrod will transform back into a human, still on Nia's shoulder, so he'll take him down as well. Suddenly you have, 100 and 40-pound person on your front, 20-pound person.
So like see this explosion of feathers.
Exactly.
Kvark will just stare.
As
And
will
just-
the other non-magical person.
Just completely frozen for a good 5 minutes.
Magbrod would just kind of go, and then point to the tile. He'll take the tile back out and kind of point and be like, and I'll roll the
Completely baffled by this shape-shifting wizardry.
Yeah, you said
Uh,
cunning at a -2?
Cunning it to -2.
So at a
Uh.
-2, I have a 7. I rolled a 2.
-2, I have a 5, and I rolled a 16.
My
Yeah.
cunning's a 7, so my cunning's a 7. It's out of -2, and I got a 5 as my roll
Nice.
result.
So he got it, right?
Yeah,
Yay!
so Niha
Yeah, you
and
get it.
Kaveric succeed. You guys remember that normally, today, there are 11 clans. But originally there were 13 barbarian clans, but much has changed since then. The clan known as Cadiz was subdued and integrated into Ambrian culture, while Jezora was destroyed by Ambria. But before you now are 13 pillars of a circular chamber, and each one kind of has the kind of cultural signs for each clan. They're overgrown with these old roots from trees on the surface. Light from the surface cracks through the ceiling, and it reflects onto a floor made of thousands of colored stone tiles, with murals radiating from the center. After you guys kind of look around, you hear the Wraith Guards landing in the crevasse where you guys just did. They enter solemnly, their mood reflecting the severity of where you guys are at, or at least the respect that it deserves.
The ceramic tile, what is it? Is there a relief on it of some sort? Is it smooth? Does it have a design?
The tiles that you were looking at they are up to you. So they're generally gold laden, engraved, old, but still kind of holding much value. But as you look at the different mosaics around you, there are several. Each of them kind of depicting different things, such as a tree growing out of a great building, or a great battle, or a snake consuming itself. But the Wraith Guards nod and say to each of you, place your tile where you believes it needs to be placed. This is your story. And so this is kind of where you as a player decide, what does your tile look like, and what picture does your tile kind of correspond with? Yeah, so take like a minute to think about that real quick. All right, what'd you guys come up with?
Kavaric, ceramic tile, depicts a section of a barbarian graveyard, swords stuck in the ground, one in particular, with the tribal name of the Jazora clan. You taking a closer look at it, his shoulders kind of slouch, and there's definitely a weight that seems to be resting on them that wasn't there before. Clearly, a memory or something has rested upon his back. Looking at the ceramic or the mosaic floor, there's a piece missing where a battle had clearly just happened, and there is a single lone individual resting, blades into the ground, marking the dead, the sole survivor of a massacre. The one tile that's missing is the hilt that Kavaric now holds in his hand as he goes and places it.
As you rise, you feel a strong hand upon your shoulder. And as you look up, you see Luthar, and uncharacteristically solemn, with a bit of wetness to his eyes as he looks at the grander design before you and pats you on the shoulder before walking away.
Kavaric will just sort of stay there, staring at the image as everyone else does their thing.
Excellent. All right, who's next?
Coma's mosaic that she's part of is still close to the Godinja tribe, but altogether part of a rather deep rendition of the circle of life of hunter going after prey, prey being killed, but also giving life to everything else that eats it, including the hunter and vultures and everything else, which also give life to the chicks of the vultures and everything and such. And her part that has is the arrowhead hitting a deer, where it's right at the heart, and she'll be putting it there, and giving a almost a ritualistic thank you to pray for your sacrifice kind of thing when she puts it down.
Excellent. All right.
Um,
Who's next?
Magbroad would kind of, watch the other two go and do that. And, he'd look down at his ceramic tile and, kind of flip it over a couple times because he's not too sure about this. He's not too sure about what he's seeing. And he's like really trying to squint and like is looking over to Nia too. And is like, know, how is he doing with this?
Still staring at his tile. But won't
So
let you see it.
yeah, Magrod is kind of like, what do you got for like answer two, dude? what you got over there, man? So after a moment or so, Magrod, after seeing, after some time has passed when the two have gone up and has solidly done theirs, Magrod would step forward and start to make his way. And his tile is has a portion that looks like it's maybe part of a night sky, like there's stars in a corner, but primarily there is evidence of sunlight and of light, and the bottom portion is turning into roots. So when he goes up to place, his the ceramic piece, it fits into a larger aspect of day day or night turning into day, of a sunrise, and of the roots of the planet Earth or whatever planet they're on, and of particularly a sign of rebirth and of light and pushing away darkness.
Nice. I like it. All right, Niha.
Yep. So Niha is going to walk across the 13 portions. Just absolutely lost, no idea where to put it. And the more he looks at his tile, the less he's convinced it actually means anything or says anything. It's sort of like it looks more like a saltine cracker than like anything engraved. You know what I mean? Like it's blank. There's some engravings, but it's like really slight and kind of worn. So after a while, with a frustrated look, he's going to over to Macbrod's tile to see if he can just place it next to Macbrod. Fortunately, they're all taken, so
can Magbrod like actually try and maybe make a space for him? Like, can like Magbrod maybe take some of his out or like try and get both of them in there?
Yeah, you can. If you want, you can kind of like undo one of the tiles next to yours. My question is, do you want to do this in a stealthy manner, or are you just gonna go for it?
I'm gonna, I would look at Nia and try and figure out what he's trying to do, and kind of like, Magrod would try and help him.
He notices to the like right next adjacent to yours is an engraving. Not sure what it means, but it's a somebody sort of sitting with their legs crossed in like a meditative stance. So they take up the lower half of the tile, and then the rest of it is just artwork. Like the head and artwork is the upper half. But it's actually cracked along the neck. So he's going to remove the top portion of their tile and then crack his, blank as it is, like a Post-it note. Just sets it right where the head of the meditating humanoid figure engraving tile was, and just is going to set it in place.
All right.
Magrod looks like it's great job.
Just a headless person.
And the well, specifically, Verema approaches you all and smiles, and as each of the Wraith Guards kind of unroll a blanket to reveal several sets of protective gloves, shoes, and clothing, each set unique and intricate in design. So this is a time that you can kind of have a tie-in with your equipment. Whether you recognize this design as, oh, hey, my mom made this. I know this. I know how this was, and obviously my mom made this for me. Or it's an old armor from a dead relative or clanmate or what have you. But what do you guys see and what do you pick up? And these could be gloves, armor, shoes, a cloak, anything. But basically, on your sheet, you now have your armor and any clothing, extra clothing that you would have.
What about weapons?
No weapons, nope.
Okay.
So Kama would actually see some hardened leather armor made from not her mother, not her father, but her ancestors back then, made from this stag that took them days to hunt down. And it's inlaid with the most careful of designs, meaning protection and not so much healing, but still circle of life again. And so she'll be taking that and give a questioning look to the race and motion of mine? Can I put on?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's yours.
And then she will don it as carefully as she can.
Excellent. All right, who's next?
I'm gonna grab a set of studded leather armor. It's got shoulder pads with some kind of like mangled, sort of like there used to be chainmail on it, like a chainmail cape, but it's broken. So now it's just kind of scraps that hang along the sides, and it doesn't fit me very well. But fits me enough, and I'm gonna gesture for my friend to tie it in the back.
Yeah.
You can't put it on by yourself.
Magrod would. He would. He'd kind of be like, why'd you get this? Like, how did you get this? Like, and then go back and like help him tie it.
Excellent. All right.
I don't. Magrod would, after tying Niha's armor, he would, start to look excited. Like he's like, what did I get? What did I get? So he'll go over and kind of, look down, and he'll pull up what looks to be like a long piece of cloth. It's dark. It has some stitching on it and some fur trim at the bottom of the long hem. It's a duster. So it'll fit over his shoulders and just fall down over just to his legs. But it's kind of ratty, and it does not appear to be very good armor. It's just kind of there. So he'll pick it up and kind of be like, look to his friend who got this really nice armor, and it's like, put his on begrudgingly, like, yeah.
Kvarik has more or less remained staring at the image. His shoulders and back sort of shrug as if trying to get rid of that weight that appeared on there. And as he does it, through the fairly light clothing that he's wearing, you realize that he's not necessarily shrugging off this weight, but he's adjusting the rather muscular features of working in the fields for so long to carry it properly. As he stands back up straight and turns and looks at the only piece of gear that's left in front of them, what is known as crow armor, which is a darker armor. It does have black feathers sort of inserted upon it. What is intriguing, though, is for anyone who noticed the tile, the mosaic that he added his tile to, the man that is planting the swords into the ground is wearing the exact same armor that Kavarik now picks up.
Excellent. So, for probably the first time, as you guys have been traveling, you see Taryn step forward. You have all chosen a set of armor that spoke to you or might have been connected to you. Understand that what you have done here today, this represents your people, as he kind of extends his hand and then rests them on his heart. Your village, your clan, for with your clan to protect you, you can withstand far more than you can alone. I hope, and those who love you and are supporting you, I hope they show how much they care with these items. And then you see Verema kind of clap him on the back. All right, let's head out. And so they start climbing the vines and such. And as you do, assuming you all follow, what you see is kind of like the spikes and everything. It scratches the clothing that you're wearing, but never punctures the skin. And just kind of glances off the protective gear that you are now wearing. And as you guys now are somewhat changed from your experience as you move further into the Davokar forest, following the lead of the 3 Wraith Guards, you begin to travel and go further south. It takes close to a week to get to the next place. Dovukar
Give me
is...
permission to talk again?
Huh? Of course, definitely. Yeah. You guys want to do a campfire scene or just kind of as you're journeying?
Take us to the campfire.
All right. So, one of these nights during the week, you have this campfire. Therma has made it in so that the campfire doesn't shed much light beyond where you are now, for safety reasons. And the giant oaks and trees of the Davukar forest kind of overhang and kind of give a almost claustrophobic feeling in a way, as they just kind of take up so much space around you and obscure so much vision. But you found this little conclave, kind of deepening in the earth, where you've built a fire and are enjoying some amount of warmth in the night.
Just for what it's worth, shortly after leaving the shrine, the sort of youthful smirk that Kavarik had when you first met him returns. Clearly, he has either become used to what he saw again, or has decided to just set it aside again for now.
So yeah, you find yourselves around this campfire.
Mag Broadhead is he's taking his shoes off and he's kind of rubbing his feet and it's kind of like, man, I I have done a lot of walking, but I don't know what it is. This ground is really hard, and it's not looking forward to sleeping on it again and again and again.
You could always turn into that bird thing you did before. Make a nest.
What was that?
What do you mean? What was that?
the question sort of answered is the question. What did you do?
I turned into a bird. Can you?
Most
No.
people cannot.
Well, most people aren't amazing, awesome warriors, and I'm guessing you guys are, right? Maybe?
Yes.
Okay, so, I can do something else. I'm not the best of a fighter, but I can turn into a bird.
Just a bird? Anything
Mm,
else?
I mean, I can't do, like, everything. I haven't encountered everything, but I can do a bit. I don't know.
So you can turn into anything you've encountered.
Kind of, and maybe a little bit less. It's hard. Okay, like don't. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do, and my parents are very they can do a lot, and they're very good at it, and maybe I'm still kind of working on it. So yeah.
So here's the greater question: can you turn into a bear?
That's a tribal secret.
Oh. Wait, can you turn into a bear? You can
That's-
shapeshift too?
That's a tribal secret.
Oh.
You
Fair
s-
enough.
You see Verema kind of open her eyes. She had been leaning against a log with a smile on her face as Taryn is kind of massaging her feet. And she looks at you and says, "Oh yeah, I bet you're going to be a real sly witch one day, Magbrod."
My parents hope so. That'd be pretty cool.
And you as well, Niha.
Nihao already is.
Oh, I want to be many things.
What do you want to be most?
Nobody.
You want to be nobody?
Yes.
It's a very weird thing to strive for.
Oh, that's to be sure. Look at all the statues of somebodies. People that have been killed. I just want to make it. I want to see things.
Oh, you'll love Thistlehold then. But even more so, I think you'll like Karvosti. If you want to see some real witches, that's the place to check them out. The greatest and most powerful of them reside there.
My parents have talked about it. Have you been?
Yeah, I mean, that's where the High Chieftain is, so most of my job requires guarding the borders of that kingdom, or really the plateau and the fortress that resides on it.
You see, that's what happens when you become somebody. You need a fortress and you need guards.
I think you are a well-traveled and wise individual, Niha. I think you'll do all right. What you really need to do is find someone willing to rub your feet at night. Now that's the trick there.
I got you, man. I got you on a lot of things, but you gotta rub your own feet, okay? Okay.
See?
And
Your
you
feet is going to be the last thing you worry about when you camp in one place for days on end.
Oh. I much prefer sleeping in the trees, to be honest.
Yeah. Kind of the place to be.
No.
Personally,
Depends on
I
what
like a
kind of
bed.
tree.
Yeah, I prefer to keep my my feet on the ground.
You guys must be all used to this. I
Yeah.
guess you do a lot of this type of fighting and climbing and walking and a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Hunting, mainly.
Yeah.
I had to track wolves one night. It's not fun. Gladly it was a lone wolf and not a pack. That would have been really bad. But it took a while, and if you think this is bad, imagine making sure that you're not going to be eaten by a whole pack, thinking that you're being tracked by a whole pack, and
Well,
having to be quiet and sneaking the entire time.
Mm. No, I understand that. In any case, you young people best be getting to bed. I'm only watching this so that you guys can catch up. So yeah, sleep tight, little ones.
uh, out of character, have they been taking shifts at night, or is there a shift schedule set up?
Yeah, they've been taking shifts at night, and like sometimes they'll ask you guys to watch it, but it's clear like
Okay.
none of them like fully relies upon you guys to take like a
Okay.
full watch.
Hmm.
So yeah,
We're still the youngins.
yeah, yeah, the wee little ones.
All right. So yeah, after he says that, Magbrod will put his shoes back on, and I apologize. Is this the first night, or have we been out for several nights?
You've been out for several nights.
Okay, so
Many
we
a night now.
yeah, okay. So we know kind of where we're all sleeping, and like, obviously Magbrod would sleep closer to Nia, and so he would start to pack up and kind of get ready for bed, or for laying on the ground.
All right. Um, so we are going to kind of time skip to the end of the week as you guys venture through the outskirts of Dovukar and get to the Yadisa Stone Fortress, led by the Wraith Guards. As you guys approach, you see a goudishly dressed Ambrian is waiting. He's clearly Ambrian from the clothes that he wears. It's not what you guys normally see. And basically, if you've seen an Ambrian before, this is the Ambrianest of all of the Ambrians.
The loudest and biggest roll of the eyes.
Yeah, and he's leaning against the stone of the gate. And as you guys approach, he bows before you. Greetings. My name is Blackhawk the Minstrel.
Do any of us know that name?
You can roll a cunning test with a
Okay.
+2.
Okay. All right. I rolled a 3. My cunning is a 9, so +2 is an 11. So I make it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know who this dude maybe is.
I don't make it. I rolled 11, but my cunning's low.
Oh no.
Yeah, a 7 with a +2 would be 9, and I rolled an 11, so nope.
All right.
He's an Embryon.
I'm at a 19. There's no way I'm knowing this dude.
No.
He is some garish, horrible Embryon.
Yeah.
Again,
So
minstrel,
those.
oh my god.
Yeah. So those
Sing us a
who.
song on the piano, man.
So those who succeeded on their cunning test know that Blackhawk is a traveling minstrel who kind of goes from barbarian lands to Ambrian lands. He's just kind of this traveling storyteller who even kind of, by some barbarian standards, is at least a decent storyteller. And while some even claim a better storyteller than some of the barbarian storytellers. So he's kind of ingrained himself into the local people, and he does a pretty good job, despite kind of his awkward customs and flamboyant, like feathery hat and his bows and his cape. You guys see the Wraith Guards kind of sigh. Therma looks at you guys and say, Blackhawk has volunteered to guide you all for your second trial. This gives us a break. We don't have to watch you young chickadees. But at the end of the day, we are to meet you all at the southern gate before we head further into the Davukar forest. So once again, it was a pleasure. And they just kind of walk off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, was this the one you punched? I just want to know.
No, the one I punched, you would know.
They don't have a face anymore.
What's the next step?
Blackhawk kind of looks up and smiles. Well, I am honored to be part of this time-honored tradition. I had to grease a lot of wheels to get this opportunity, and I am sure I can impart the teachings of your people to yourselves, but more so show you that us Ambrians can work with the barbarian tribes as well. Any case. So, come, follow me. And as he does, he kind of walks you through the towns, showing you the different stalls and taverns and inns here in Yadisa and like the barracks and such. And as he does, he kind of looks at each of you and says, "So, what is your home like? What is it different from this place? I'm sure it's different from my home. I reside in Sittlehold from time to time, but I'm more curious about where you all hail from." And he kind of looks at you each, kind of one by one.
I'm gonna speak before Magbrod and say, he and I are from the Inuit tribe. We live in holes in the ground and eat only feathers. Watch your hat. We really can't help ourselves at this point. Magbrod, you will know that I'm a compulsive liar.
He kind of plucks his feather and like tucks it away in his pocket. Well, that's good to understand. How about the rest of you?
In a very not sharing sort of fashion, Kabarak will simply look at him. I work on a farm.
What do you plant? Carrots?
Sure.
I see. Well, I'm surely there's a an energetic and enthusiastic individual here. And he kind of looks at Magbrod and Coma.
So, Magbrod is obviously trying to hold something back, and he's just trying to be very as polite as possible before kind of just spilling it all out. You're a minstrel. I have heard of you. I know some of. Oh my goodness! Can you please tell us a story? Can you please share a song? Anything, please.
Oh, well, see that. That's the enthusiasm I would love to talk about. So, as many of you all know, as I said before, I oftentimes travel around Thistlehold. A wonderful place filled with people you have never seen. Different people, goblins, barbarians, Ambrians, all sorts of people.
Goblins? Like real? Like...
Yes. There are tents right outside Thistlehold where the goblins reside. They were, in fact, the ones who helped build Thistlehold after the queen provided the lucky adventurer the right to build Thistlehold. But my story will begin on the south. I heard tale of a few people from the old lands of Ambria traveling across the mountains and encountering what may, at least the story tells, may have been undead. An undead creature accosted them as they were traveling across the mountains, and it was only through the cunning hunters of some of the travelers that they were able to find this undead. For you see, it had taken the very warmth that the traveling band relied upon to get through during the winter. And I hear the fight was something to behold. This creature of nightmare.
What did it look like?
Well, I heard it second count from an individual in a bar in Thistlehold, and he said this creature did not have a jaw. You saw his tongue licking the sides of his cheeks in almost this devouring fashion. His eyes looked like someone had gouged it with their thumbs, his hair in patches, and his skin pale like rotted wood.
Magbrod's really intense into this. He's really he's eating this all up, like verbatim, no insight, just like, oh my god, really?
Koma was all for like ignoring him for a while, and then he said hunters, and then this whole thing about a fight, and now she's interested in like leaning over but trying to pretend like she's not interested.
Kavarik's field of F's is barren.
Look at thine field. It is barren.
They are barren.
So they won, right? The hunters won.
They did, but not without cost. I hear tell that out of the 5 that went to secure the means of warmth, only 3 returned. But, like most things, the things worth fighting for often costs us everything. Oh, yeah. And as you guys are walking, you see some of the Yadisa villagers kind of like gesturing rudely to Blackhawk, and others kind of looking away, and he just kind of walks on by, uncaring and smiling.
Magrod likes this guy. He's all about this.
Kavarik visibly agrees with each and every one of their gestures.
Yeah, they're like, you're like, yeah, fuck this guy. So eventually you guys reach a busy marketplace in the town center, and Blackhawk looks at you guys. So the second trial is one that I am fond of. Your people are strongest, and really everyone, Embrian or Barbarian, are strongest when they have friendships and connections with other clans and other people. And he pulls out a bag and pulls out several beads, these almost marble-like things. They look almost like amber, taken from a tree and kind of rolled up into a lumpy little ball. These, my friends, represent a sacred bond between barbarians. These bonds are not taken lightly. Every barbarian has walked the same path that you have, not in a exact manner, but needless to say, where you have been, they too have been. These are trust beads, and can be used once to ask an important favor from the giver. I implore you to look about, talk to people, see what you can do to gain such beads, and then come find me again.
Are there barbarian peoples around still giving this guy?
Not at the moment. This is kind of a busy marketplace. So when you first arrived, some of them kind of scoffed, but mostly people are kind of focused on the trade and the busyness of today's market.
So Kavarik will just sort of do a whistle. Everyone here see this bloke?
A few people kind of stop and look. Yeah?
What's the general opinion here?
And you hear like some different opinions. Some are like, hey, I really should go down south back to Thistlehold or Ambria. And a few others are like, he's a good storyteller. The kids like him. Yeah.
Good to know.
Hmm.
And then they just kind of continue on their way. Blackhawk kind of smiles at you. So, I believe you have your second trial. I will be by the southern gate right before you will be reintroduced to your previous caretakers. But I implore you, speak to your fellow man fellow woman and understand their burdens and see if there is a way for you to build a bond.
Build a bond.
And it goes so wonderfully.
And with
Koma's
that, he kind of
persuasion's so low.
with that he bows and saunters off as several kids kind of give chase to him, asking for stories.
Yeah, Magbrod is almost like, I guess I gotta do this thing.
Nerd.
Fine.
Kavar gives him a solid jog off.
I don't know what your problem is, man.
Get off, you wanker.
So we got some balls, guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
How many do we have?
Oh, so you guys don't have any. He took the beads
Oh.
with him. They were just to show that each of the so many people carry these things from their time of the trials, and that it can be used to kind of be like, I owe you a favor or call
Oh,
a favor in.
boon.
Yeah, basically a boon.
Okay,
You guys are
okay.
going out trying to get boons.
Get boons. It's vampire all over
Yeah,
again.
you guys know this.
Ah.
All right, where's the prince?
I'm sure you'll see a small kid around
Sorry.
somewhere.
Oh,
with,
I'll
like, a
take
crown.
the thinner shawl. That'll be fine.
That'll work. So yeah, where are you guys gonna go?
So this is a market kind of area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like stalls where like there's leatherworking or like kills or meat or a butcher or anything around?
There is, yeah. You see one of such, just kind of like this little stall with several bits of meat and tanned hide, and there's even like a couple of leather armors that looks like was handmade by this very person. So it doesn't have the same kind of intricacies of a well-made leather armor, but it looks
Yeah.
like he's trying.
Koma will probably going over there. She is horrible at being social, so she's gonna probably just linger around there, listen to what's going on, try to get a feel of what the people around here are like, for the most part, before even attempting to say or do anything, because more likely she'll fall over herself if she tries immediately.
So actually, as you approach this individual in this like area, the man behind the stall kind of looks at the clothes that you're wearing, and he starts kind of approaching you. So he hobbles, and as he moves across from the stand, you see that one of his legs is gone, and it's replaced with this kind of wooden peg that's strapped to his leg, and he uses a cane to kind of aid him in walking as well. And he approaches you, looks you about, and says, "You have the look of a hunter."
Well, yeah, I am, in fact.
Any of these right here might whet your appetite. Something to bring along with you during your time traveling. And he kind of moves back towards his stall and motions to some of the rabbits that look like have been peppered with spices and such.
I mean, by now everything probably looks like a gourmet meal considering our traveling.
Oh yeah.
So there's
definitely.
probably gonna be like some drool be like, in fact, it all looks amazing, but we're not carrying anything other than what we've been given in the
Yeah,
clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
I will turn my pockets inside out. Like I don't have anything on me though, unfortunately.
I see. Well, is there anything you might be able to do? I mean, we can trade, we can barter. I am up for something if you don't have the coin.
Would a favor work? In fact, maybe. I pride myself in being a pretty good hunter. If there's something that you
Now that I could use. I used to go out in the forest all the time myself until I lost my leg to a bear trap. Set by Ambrians, no doubt. But, how about this? You go out, you hunt for me. and you bring back the best kill you can. And depending on that, I'll be able to throw in a little something for you. That sound good?
That sounds, in fact, great.
Excellent. Well, I'll be here all day, so I look forward to seeing you again.
Kavarik will tap Kuma's shoulder
Hmm?
and
Kavak.
sort of lean in. How do you plan on hunting without a weapon?
I was so excited I didn't think about that.
Bare hand.
Just like wrestle a bear.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try and do something, but I don't have a lot of hope.
We can make snares.
All right, then. Snares
We
it
can
is.
make snares. We can make traps still. The forest will give you things to work with.
All right. I'm game.
Excellent. All right, so it looks like Kavarik and Koma will go back out into the Davokar forest and attempt to get the best animal they can get. Let's go to Niha and Magbrod and see what they are up to.
We didn't see them, right?
I mean, you probably saw them like head further
Walk
into
off.
walk off into the busier areas of the stalls.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Well,
What are you
um,
thinking?
so I think the best thing was, so we have to just talk to people. That's not that bad, right?
No.
We
No,
gotta.
pockets, not people. Pockets.
You want what? You want to?
Some. Oh, don't listen to me. I'm thinking out loud.
You
Oh,
do that. You do
do what
that,
you
and
have
then
to
I
do,
don't
friend.
know.
No, I'm fine. I'll follow you.
Man,
I'm just
so-
like looking at everybody's
Yeah.
stuff, like not even looking people in the eye. I'm just like, no, I'm fine.
Ooh, do you want to attempt to pickpocket someone?
I do.
All right.
Magbrod won't know this. Like Magbrod is not even thinking that. He's very much thinking, hey, I'm gonna talk to people, but that will work out well. So Magbrod will look around for anybody who looks like they need help, like anybody trying to pick stuff up or anything like that.
All right. Well, first, Niha, why don't you give me a discreet roll?
Yep. My discreet is 15. And I'm gonna roll 20. 19.
Oh man, that's almost a crit.
You
fail.
have
So as you're looking at, your hand slips into the pocket, and the minute you pull out one of these amber beads, you feel this old cold hand grab your arm with this iron vice grip, and you look up to see this old woman with gray hair smiling at you with like several teeth, and they're all sharpened. She has tattoos all over her face and arms, and she just looks at you. Well, aren't we spry?
Oh.
My oh my, what lovely teeth you have.
great.
Poor life choices.
Yes.
Why, only to encourage you to owe me something, or at least allow me to practice my trade. I think that's fair for me not saying anything.
Oh, but it depends entirely on what your trade is.
Well, I seek to practice tattooing. You see these? And she kind of lifts up her shirt and motions to her face at the intricate designs all over them.
Oh, now I do.
Yeah. These are the things I enjoy to do. So, your choice. Shall I let everyone around us know, or will you come back to my hovel?
I prefer an inked hand over a stump, so why don't we go?
Excellent. And she pulls you along. Magbrod, you probably see this at this moment as this old lady pulls Niha away
Give her a
from
look like I'm
someone.
about to make up a lie if she were to ask me. Like, I guess I'm being kidnapped now.
Man, no. So Magbrod would notice this.
Mhm.
You said, "All right, whoa, whoa, wait, hey, wait, no, come back, wait." So he would pursue them. Hey, wait, lady, what? Stop, wait, where are you guys going?
Yeah, she doesn't stop, but she does turn to
I've
you.
never met this man in my life. Let's go.
I am taking him to my hovel, where I will provide him a tattoo that represents his nature.
Um, he'll look to Nia. What is? All right. Good luck.
And she continues to just take him into this
Yeah,
little
like.
hovel with smoke rising from it.
Oh my gosh. All right. So yeah, Magbrod is just kind of left standing there, like everybody's left. I'm.
Oof.
Oh
All
man.
by yourself.
Yeah. Okay, now I got this, guys. I got this. I got this. So Magbrod, of course, will remember where this hovel is and stay kind of in the area. But he would look for anybody who needs assistance.
All right, you see
Where's the smoke coming from?
We'll get to that later. But you see a trader.
I was like, traitor? Okay.
Who is kind of eyeing as you're kind of in the southern area of the city now, or the small town, eyeing Blackhawk, who is kind of sitting down telling stories to several children.
What does this trait? Does he have any like wares in front of him? Does he? Carry
No,
anything?
he kind of has this large backpack with tin pots and such on it.
And I don't have any sort of. We don't have food, or do we have any water with us or anything?
Yeah, you have water. Yeah, and you have like kind of like some food and stuff, rations.
Okay. Does this guy look exceptionally tired?
Oh yeah, he looks like he hasn't slept in some time.
Okay. All right. So Magbrod will walk over to him and be like, "Hey, I'm kind of here with some friends. I can't help but notice that you got like a really heavy pack, and you just could look like you could use a sit down and some water. I've got some water if you want some. I'll drink it first. Nothing tricky, man. Just looks like you could use a sit down."
Well, thank you. And he sits down and undoes his pack as he continues to stare at Blackhawk. It's a shame they allow Ambrians in this city. I remember Jazora and the clan that was annihilated by the very steel of the man that I see before me. And and he just kind of stares at Blackhawk.
So Magbrod would hand him like whatever the water canteen or whatever.
He'll drink it up and thank you.
Yeah, no problem. But like, so Blackhawk isn't a bad guy. He's a storyteller. He preserves the stories of everything, including Jazira. Jezera, sorry. Not all Ambrians are necessarily bad. I mean, just like how all of us aren't necessarily bad.
Don't fall into that trap by honeyed words. If you ever go to Thistlehold, you'll see how far detached they are from anything of value. They're a sad lot, the Ambrians, and all they do is take. There is no peace with them here, and there never will be. They push into Davokar with reckless abandon, bringing death back. They seek our lands and our wisdom and our knowledge of the forest, only for their means and their expansion. I will never trust them.
You've walked this place far longer than I have, but I still think that there's good in everyone, and there is good in Ambrians, and people will surprise you.
All right, make a persuasion check with a +3.
Okay. Ooh, I rolled a 2.
Ooh.
My persuasion was 5, so wow. 8. Yeah, I rolled a 2. I can actually show you on my camera, but
It's cool. So he nods. I wish I had the same optimism as you. But you give me hope in some way. If there are people like you, maybe there is chance for our people. And he hands you a little amber bead and pats you on the back as he puts on his pack and begins walking, eventually going past Blackhawk. Excellent. So for Koma and Kavarik, well, each of you guys first roll Vigilant, and then roll Cunning at a +2.
Okay. I rolled a 7 for Vigilant, and I have a Vigilance of 15.
Okay.
But my Cunning, I rolled a 16, and my Cunning's not the greatest. My Cunning's a 7, and with a +2, it's a 9.
All right. How about you, Kavarik?
So I got a 15 for my Vigilant at a Vigilant of 10.
Mm-hmm.
No good there. And a 9 for my Cunning with a Cunning of 9.
Excellent. So, Koma is very good at kind of searching for the spots and finding the perfect location to kind of as she's looking over the trails and everything. But she almost misses kind of some of the traps to be made as Kavarik fills in the gap to help you guys kind of get exactly what you need. So you guys were successful together, relying on each other in certain aspects, and you are able to fell a wolf.
Ooh.
And then able to bring it back before the individual you guys had talked to earlier. So the trader kind of nods at you guys as you guys approach. What do you guys say?
Well, actions speak louder than words, so I'm going to show the wolf and, lift it up and do like, yeah, did it.
Or the man smiles. It's tradition in our people that the more dangerous the kill, the more tasty the meat. And you've brought me something very special. Was it just you, or did your friend here help as well?
I cannot say it was just me. My friend here helped bringing it down. As I will give Garvrak a hearty pat to his shoulder.
All right then. And he hands you guys some one rabbit spiced, as well as 2 beads. I'll have enough with this to tide me over for some time, so I appreciate it, and I wish you guys the best in your path.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
And now we head over to Neha.
He's about to get a hot dog on his butt.
All right. So I want you to make a strong test at a +3.
Strong test at a +3. My
Mhm.
strong is 5.
Oh no.
I did as badly as I could possibly do.
You rolled a 20?
Yes.
I want your dice for like
Oh,
D&D,
man,
man.
yeah,
Like
it's
this is
Yeah.
horrific.
a good dice, but not for
Yeah.
this.
Well, I'm the GM, so don't play my games. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh god. Yeah.
So, she kind of puts you on a chair and she takes out her inks and everything, and she starts tattooing your right shoulder where you cannot see it. And you know you're handling it okay at first, but it's obvious she is making this as painful as possible. And
Mm.
and it gets pretty bad as she eventually hands you like this piece of wood to put in your mouth.
Oof. Yeah.
They're suddenly screaming from a tent over yonder.
Yeah.
So by the end of it, she kind of pats you on the back and
On the shoulder.
whispers, "Oh yeah, right on the shoulder," and kind of whispers in your ear, "Next time, I'm gonna bite your ear off."
Ooh,
And
wow.
she places a bead, that very same bead you tried to take, right in your hand, and pushes you out of the hut.
Mhm.
I think that's the most trial we've ran into
Yeah.
now.
I'll inquire with the slammed door. This time tomorrow. No.
Best get along, dearie.
Mhm.
So you guys, kind of by the end of the day, return to Blackhawk, who he has just got done telling some stories to children, and he looks at you guys with a very wry smile on his face. So, did everything go well?
Como will nod happily, be like, yeah. I even hold up the rabbit. Even got dinner.
Oh, nice. And I assume the rest of you were just as successful?
Ragbot is looking over
Sure.
at Nia, like, what'd you get?
I got what I needed,
Oh man.
Well,
and I'll hold it out.
I do hope it served you well. It is yours to keep, and maybe to call in at a later point in time. Regardless, this is where we part ways. The Wraith Guard won't let me come close to them without threatening me. So please return to your caretakers, and I do hope to see you again, possibly in Thistlehold.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I want to hear
Maybe.
way more stories from you.
Oh, you will. And he walks off. You guys see the Wraith Guards kind of like waving you guys over.
Walk over.
Yeah, walk over.
One of them is Verma is holding a kind of sack, and you see hilts as well as bows and such coming out of it, and they kind of throw it at you guys in a very
Like the
kind of-
entire sack?
yeah.
Try to catch it, just fall back.
All right. These weapons were provided by the good people of Yadisa as well as some of the other tribes. You guys better be thankful for it, eh?
We are. I
Yeah.
am. Yeah.
Cool, because where we're going, it's going to be a little dangerous.
Like how dangerous? Like on a scale of like we're definitely gonna die to like we're not gonna do anything. Like on a scale.
Let's just say you might want to bite onto this. And she pulls out like a wooden stick and kind of like tosses it at Niha with a wink.
Wait, I don't get it. I don't get it.
It might not be for the get. All right, little ones, grab the things that you
I look
need.
at Magbot. I don't get it either.
And let's head off.
Okay.
So now you guys have the weapons on your character sheets.
Okay.
They're all intricately made with designs from each of your tribes. So yeah,
Does that include ammo?
it does include ammo.
Okay. For those of us having, actual
Shotguns
ranged
and machine
weapons.
guns. I know. So you guys go forth. The Wraith Guards explain that you guys are headed towards the Biaga clan, a nomadic clan that often use these bear-like creatures to fight alongside them. Truly potent and dangerous barbarians. But the part of Davokar we are going through has been known to be dangerous, so we all need to be ready to fight if need be. So on that note, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break, people. Get some water, get some coffee. We are close. We're coming to the final trial, so not too much longer now. And we look forward to seeing everyone who is still present and hanging in there with us back again in 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, we are back in action after eating water / coffee / whatever other drugs are needed to push past this witching hour. So last time we left off, our heroes, or whatever you might call these individuals, left. What's the place again? Yadisa, the town of Yadisa, heading towards the lands of the Biaga clan. It's going to take about a week, and as they're traveling and such, there's not much conversation as the shadows of Davokar grow longer, and you guys hear things every now and then, and always have this sense of foreboding danger. Even the Wraith Guards are at attention as you move about. On one particular day, as the sun is slowly setting, I want each of you guys to give me a vigilant test.
My vigilant is 10. Let's see what I roll.
You're going to roll a 20, so.
I got a 15.
My vigilance is 15 and I rolled a 10.
Nice.
My vigilant was 10. I rolled an 11.
Oh, just barely.
So close.
My vigilant is 10 and I rolled an 8.
Nice. All right, I believe those two who were successful. As you guys are moving, you notice several of these sharp-beaked crows staring down at you. They're larger than kind of like the average crows that you have seen, and they seem to be gathering and looking from you, and then looking down the kind of like line of trees towards something else, something shuffling towards you in the dark of Dovukar.
I am drawing my crossbow.
And you said the Wraith Guard are with us?
Yes. They kind of look ill at ease, and they start looking around as everyone kind of draws weapons. And then out of the tree line bursts this large creature. It easily stands several meters over you. Its hands are these long dagger-like claws. Its mouth is without teeth, and yet you kind of see these pieces of bone and blood gushing from its mouth. Its eyes are pitch black. The Wraith Guards kind of yell as they move towards it, and Varema looks towards you guys and says, "Stay away from it. Get our backs." As they dive into combat with this creature, and just as they do, you see the crows start to descend upon you, and we are in combat. So combat works. The initiative is your quick. So I am going at a 15. Does anyone beat me?
Nope.
Do we have to roll anything for it?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
just the number? Okay.
Yeah,
no.
just the number. And oh man, okay, I never have to roll dice. I keep forgetting that. So one of the swarms of what are known as violings, comes down and starts attacking. Which one of you? Let's say it is Coma.
Woo!
So Coma, make a dodge test or defense test.
Defense,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ugh, I rolled a 19. My defense is 11.
Ooh, that is not good. All right, you take 3 damage, and remember you can.
I'd like to. Can I do a reaction?
It depends. It depends on your abilities.
Bodyguard.
Ooh. Then yeah, I believe. Does it say what skill is required to do that, or?
It's a novice bodyguard. Oh yeah, it's a resolute.
All right, go ahead and make resolute test.
Okay, my resolute is 10. I rolled a 3.
Excellent. All right, you are able to push her aside as these winged creatures come down, and you yourself can roll defense.
They hit automatically.
Oh, they hit automatically? Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so you take 3 damage, but you get to roll your armor.
All right. So it's a 1d6. How does that work?
You just roll 1d6, and that's how much you soak.
1d6, and I rolled a 6.
Excellent. Their beaks
Yes.
kind of smash against your armor, but you hold firm. You guys see the large creature swing a claw and slash against one of the wraith guards, specifically Terran, who kind of is slammed against a tree and is still. Who is next after 15? My quick 15.
I have a 13.
I also have a 13.
I have a
All right.
13 as well.
Ooh, all right.
Everybody's 13.
After that, it's vigilant.
Vigilant 15.
Vigilant 10.
Como wins, I think.
Yep.
I also have a vigilant 10.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Como.
Okay. So the birds are bearing down at us,
Mhm.
and they're fighting the horrible monstrosity.
Mhm.
Is there any of the bird things going at them?
Not at the moment. They seem kind of preoccupied with right now Kavrik, who they don't really have much purchase with in terms of trying to
Okay.
get to his flesh.
I will try to shoot the one that tried to hit me and hit him in the chainmail thing
All
that
right.
he has.
All right, so my my defense is -5.
Okay. So it's a -5. I have marksman,
Mhm.
which uses my vigilance, so I have a vigilance of 10 because of that. And I roll a 20.
So that's really bad. A 20 in combat means that the enemy gets a free attack. It's kind of like you're
Oh.
distracted or you pull a string or something like that. So they're going to try to attack you now.
Miha cursed me with his 20s.
How often can I do reactions?
I believe we'll say you can do it again.
Okie dokie.
So you can go ahead. Yeah, I think as long as you succeed on your test, you're good.
Okay. So Resolute again. Resolute is a 10, and I rolled an 8.
Excellent. So you jump in front of it again. So roll your defense or your armor.
So yeah, I noticed that my armor. So I have this. Where is it?
No.
Oh, Man at Arms, which increases the armor's tier by 1 step.
Yeah.
It's a passive. I'm not sure what that does.
Yeah, it should be already on your. So what type of
Okay.
armor are you wearing?
Crow armor.
Yeah, so I think that's light armor, which normally would be 1d4, and then increase it to 1d6.
Got it. I rolled a 3.
Excellent. So you once again soak up. Kavarik jumps again in front of him and kind of just uses his armor to soak up all the beaks and such. All right. Since you've been kind of kicking a lot of ass right now, Kavarik, why don't you go?
Do I have to?
Mhm.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bear down on this bird that's been flocking around us.
Mhm.
So he's going to take his sword out and yell as he swings overhead using Shield Fighter, which is already taken into account. So would I have to roll to hit?
Generally strong.
Strong?
Or
Alright.
I'm sorry, accurate. Accurate.
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah.
All right, so I have an accurate of 15.
Mhm.
Oh, shit.
Hmm.
Rolled a
just-
20.
Yeah, just do your thing.
All right. So roll dodge. So your defense -5.
-5. So my defense is 11. -5 would make it a 6. And I roll a 10.
All right, now soak damage. They're hitting you for 3.
3d6, and I rolled a 6.
All right, once again, they just can't. They keep pelting on your armor as you kind of lose grasp of your weapon and have to bend down real quick to pick it up. So after you, I believe, is Magbrud.
Yep, I think so. So I didn't see where the specifications for like how shapeshifting works and what the turn order is. So can he shapeshift at this point?
Yeah. You just make
Okay.
a resolute test, and then this turn you shapeshift, and the next turn you can start like wailing
Okay.
them.
Cool. Yeah. So he's gonna do that, and I had just said that he can turn into things that he is, seen or whatever. Is there a specified list anywhere? I didn't see one.
No, there's not. It's just kind of like
Okay.
and normal animals that you would find them for.
No. So my resolute is a 15. I just rolled a 17.
Yeah, you
So-
kind of do the ritual as you try, but it's the birds. It's distracting you. You're like, damn it.
I do like jutsu.
Yeah.
Like,
All right,
Okay.
Niha.
I think I'm going to try to shift as well.
All right,
Mm.
do your resolute.
My resolute is 9. I got a 3.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Boy, yeah.
He broke the curse.
All right, what are you turning into?
House cat.
Just like, look. It's so
Aw.
cute.
It has claws.
Yeah.
It does.
All right. So we're going back to the top, which I believe is Coma. Yep.
Oh, me again? I guess I will try shooting that bird that keeps trying to stab us with its beak. Now that's probably like a swarm just trying to go after us, or it's the one. All right. And you said it's a -5.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Okay. So, come on, vigilance. Yes. I rolled a 5.
Excellent. All right. Roll damage.
Alrighty. What is the damage again? 1d12 because of amazingness.
Oh yeah.
I rolled a 4.
Excellent. All right. So you pierce a few of their hides, and they go down. They do not look like they can take more.
Yeah.
All right. So after that, I believe we said it's Kvark.
Yes.
All right, I'll try this again.
I yell, I got him.
That's fair. So how many birds were swarming around us?
About 6.
All right. He will attempt to look at the next one that he could potentially reach with his blade, and if necessary, make a reasonable jump to swing at it.
All right.
All right. So my accurate is a 15.
Yeah, and their defense puts a -5 to that.
-5, so it makes me a 10. So let's not roll a 20 again. I rolled a 2.
Excellent. All right. How much damage do you do?
So I have Shield Fighter at Adept. So the novice version of that, damage dealt by weapons held in the character's sword arm increased by 1 step.
Nice.
So my sword goes from a D8 to a D10.
Yeah.
So let me roll that real quick. D10, I do 7.
Nice. So you hit their pain threshold. You have like killed enough that some of them are kind of like they're backing off, they're scared, and you have an opportunity to kind of do another attack. So go ahead and do it all over again.
All right, that's neat. All right, so accurate -5 gives me a 10. I rolled a 7.
All right, roll damage.
Damage, D10. I get a... Happened.
A what?
It's not. Hold on. There we go. It wouldn't roll. 5.
Excellent. So with the last of them that they're trying to run, you slice through the last three, and all of the crows lay bloodied and broken by you twitching against the earth ground. It's at this moment that you see this large creature slump against the tree, Verema, on top of it, piercing it through what looks like the heart with her sword, and she's leaning on the sword now with Luthar kind of panting with his great axe by his side, and he looks at you guys and then looks back at the creature.
Surprisingly, we're unscathed.
I'm gonna motion for Miha and Magbar to check. It was Tomar, you said, that hit the tree?
Mm-hmm.
To go check on him. See if he's alive. Maybe you guys can use your magical shape-shifting thing to heal him. I mean, Koma has no idea what your powers can do, but you obviously can do magical things.
I suddenly turn into a bird because my ritual finally worked. Just suddenly, oh, no.
And you're like, wee.
Yeah, Magrod would kind of follow Koma's instructions and go over to the fallen Wraith Guard.
All right. As you approach, you kind of see parts of his rib cage splitting out from his chest. Blood is painted kind of on the lower end of his jaw, and his eyes are open, but they're lifeless as he stares off in the distance.
I don't think he's Magbod would actually try and check to see if he was alive, if he,
Yeah,
you know.
he's dead.
Okay. Yeah, guys, he's not. He's gone.
Can we see where the rest of them went?
The rest of them?
The wraith?
Oh, yeah. So Luthar is kind of panting in the center, wiping the sweat and wrapping a couple of bandages across an arm that's bleeding. And he kind of looks at you guys and points to Verema, who still remains kind of on top of this beast, leaning against her sword as it's kind of pressed against its heart.
Look to Verema.
So as you come and approach, you notice that her eyes are closed.
Verema?
She does not respond.
Slowly get closer. Is she breathing still?
As you move closer and kind of check, there is no life in her at all. She's just kind of held in this her last moment with the blade piercing heart. You see several scratches along her, and there's one special big one across her throat. It kind of just comes down, and you can kind of see sinew and blood dripping.
Is the creature still there? Did it just fall over or did it disappear? Or?
Yeah, the creature is still there. It's dead. And as you guys kind of look around, give me a vigilant test.
My vigilant
11. And I have a 15.
10, and I got a 3. Hey.
Got 10.
19. No. Whatever it is, I don't see.
So as you guys are looking out, you notice this small stone kind of clutched in the hand of the creature. That's his hand is now open, and you see it. It's a small stone, black like charcoal. It has these blood-like veins in it.
Do I know what it is? Is there any sort of like, is it a magical thing? Is it something that
You're pretty confident. You don't need to make a check that this
Okay.
is an artifact from Dovukar.
this is from Dovakar. It's an artifact. I haven't seen one in person.
Look at Lothar. What should we do with this?
He sighs. It's the damn Ambrians, always going to Dovukar and trying to take the things that don't belong to them.
This
These
is
artifacts corrupt. No doubt that will corrupt people as well. But,
What do we do with it then?
well, I suggest one of you take it. Bring it back to your clan leader, see what can be done. Maybe someone's willing to protect it.
I'll take it.
Alright.
And I motion to the two past Wraith Guards. A service worthy of them.
He nods. Yes. Let's gather up their bodies and we'll bury them where in a proper place. And so that night, as you guys kind of are seated about the campfire, the graves dug deep, and each of the Wraith Guards, with their weapons on top of them, are placed below. Lothar's eyes are wet as he kind of gazes at them from the firelight.
Gavark will walk up and repeat the exact same gesture he made, that Lothar made back at the shrine.
He nods to you and says, sometimes you just don't know, and you wish you did things differently.
Why? If things had gone differently, the creature would still be alive.
I just wish I said things that I always kind of left off.
Huh? Say them now. Better late than never. And Gavark will leave him to say his piece.
Yeah, he kind of places a hand on each of them and whispers something to them before kissing them on their forehead and starting the shovel, putting the dirt on top of them.
Gavark will help.
Excellent. So, go ahead.
Koma's no bard. She's never going to be a bard, but assuming there's some kind of hymn or excuse me, I'm sorry,
Bless you.
or song song kind of thing to it's late and you guys know I'm trying to say, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But she would try to sing something like that.
Yeah.
Sing the song of her people.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do, and I'm not going to even roll a test because this is more about the moment of it.
Yeah.
As you sing this enchanting, beautiful song, and
Even with probably her horrible voice.
it's the thought that counts.
It is.
Luthar smiles, and yeah.
Yeah.
So the next.
Magbrod
Go ahead.
just when after this is after they're doing their thing, like he would of course stand close to Niha during this whole thing, kind of letting the barbarians do their thing, or their and after this was done, he would investigate or look at this artifact and kind of turn it around.
All right.
I haven't shifted out of feline form though.
Oh man, you're a cat. I love it.
That's how I
cat
cope.
forever.
That's how you cope.
So you know that you'll need to find a lore master to find out exactly what this is, or
Okay.
it whispers to you. You can always attune to
Oh,
it,
man.
Ooh.
let it
Yeah.
into your heart in some form or fashion to know exactly what it is.
Now who's going to make a poor life choice?
I do have witchcraft, which is, let me look at the skills
It helps
again.
you in corruption regarding gaining spells and doing spells, but
Okay.
not artifacts.
Okay. That was going to be my second question, if I could use that. Um, for right now, he's just gonna he's gonna assume that he needs a lore master.
Okay. So afterwards in the morning, Luthar grimly leads you guys the remainder of the way to the Biaga encampment, where you guys meet Dakar, the Biaga chieftain. He's this broad-shouldered man, bald with a long beard, and he looks around for the other Wraith guards, but after seeing Luthar, he kind of gives a knowing nod and pats him on the back. Dakar says, I'm glad you guys are here in Biaga clan despite what has transpired. We are a nomadic people, living and breathing off the land and moving about as we deem necessary. But more importantly, and he kind of moves over to some pens where you guys see these giant bear-like creatures with long tusks and fangs staring at you guys and moving about, some fighting each other. He's like, these are Piegorns. We fight alongside them like brethren of our clan. And for your final trial, one of the last things we ask of you to do is something specific for our clan. You see, we've found a mother Beargorn who is protecting a cub nearby, and we hope to bring it into the fold. The cub, that is. The mother is too old for to bring in. So we ask you to go and make this bear cub submit and bring it back to us, so that we might fight alongside it and train it too. Luthar will stay with us, so this is just on you.
What about the mother?
The mother will get along fine. It's just kind of part of their cycle. Eventually, the mother will leave the child and seek another mate, and the process will begin again.
Puma's all for this, just like, yeah, getting all pumped up.
Excellent. And he kind of leads you guys towards the Devakar edge and smiles and waves as you guys head off. So I'm going to need a vigilant test in order to find the cub and the mother.
Do we know if these things have like any, I don't get it, poison or anything or any weird?
No, not from what you've seen of them.
Okay.
I rolled a
I got nothing here.
13, and I have a 15 for vigilance.
All right, so you're good with a 15. So you start moving about and traveling, and eventually you come upon some tracks, smaller and one bigger. It eventually leads you guys to a cave, and kind of at the edge of the cave, you see this small little cub bear, Biegorn, playing with some blueberries.
Oh.
And the mom's got to be around here somewhere.
So how big is the cub in comparison to the full-grown ones we've seen?
So the cub is about your size, while the full-grown ones, easily you guys stand to probably their kind of I guess their elbows, or however you call it.
Oh man. So, do you guys have like, trapping stuff? Do you think we can trap it?
Potentially. My question is, where's its mother? As I'll look around.
Yeah, you can give another vigilant test.
Yeah, I will as well.
10.
I rolled a 1.
Ah, snap.
Ooh.
All right. So those who were successful, you notice some movement in the cave, just off the edge of your vision. And for the critical success, Alex, as you're looking about, it's obvious that these are the only two there. But the berries in of itself look to almost make the little cub a little sluggish.
Yeah, so I would let you guys know that I can see, movement in the cave, but there's something weird with the berries. It's making him slow.
Hmm. Wow, that's a good thing for us, for him. But if his mom's in there,
Yeah,
hmm.
could try and distract her.
Have you met any kind of animal with their young around?
I know, I
They'll
know.
be not very distracted. Hmm.
We could try talking to her.
Can you talk to animals?
Nope. Can you?
I don't know. You can shapeshift into animals. Is question. Um, we could try to lure the cub out further if we can find more of those berries, but it'll take probably a while, especially if he's sluggish.
Yeah. We could try and trap the mother in the cave.
Could. With what? How big is the cave? Cave mouth.
I mean, it's you could probably fit 4 of these creatures in them.
That's a very big cave. Um,
Out of
uh,
out of character with the mechanics, could I try and change into one of these? Or do I have to have like something special or
No, you could change it into one of these. It would take kind
Okay,
of a
hypothetically.
persuasion check to kind of for them to see you as their own or as not like an adversary.
Yeah, that'd be my only concern. So yeah, I can try and change into one of these, but as soon as she's probably going to attack me if I'm, no matter what I am, but especially if I'm another, one of them.
would you be able to try to? I mean, the goal is to get the cub. If you could at least lure her away, how fast would you be on running away?
Uh, I
Could you
don't
shapeshift into something faster after you get her out of there?
possibly. Do I know? Can I shift from animal form to animal form? Or do I? Okay. All right. Yeah. So I can try. I mean, it's worth a shot. If we don't have anything else, and then it's worth a shot.
Well, we don't want to kill her because she'll continue the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
We'd prefer her not. We'd prefer not to kill her.
Agreed. Agreed. Um.
If we have to, we'll get to that. But
All right.
um,
All right. All
I
right. Then.
mean,
Yeah.
which one of you's better at talking animal?
Yeah, you more so feel like the persuasion check is kind of to give the indication that you are not a threat and to kind of pacify.
How's your persuasion, Nia? How do you feel about this?
It's good. It's decent. It's all right.
Mine isn't that great. My shape-shifting is okay. My resolute's good. But my persuasion is not.
Well, then let me do the talking. I'm going to try to transform as well then.
All right, go ahead and make a
All right.
resolute test.
All right, my resolute is 9, and I'm rolling my result 18.
All right, so
I just wanted to see what rolls. I mean, you guys can take the time to kind of make sure that you guys transform.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking too is that they're gonna try and do this, whether it's one of them or both of them. They go in a certain direction. If it goes poorly, like running away, trying to goad her away, me and Guevara can make like a snare or a trap
Mhm.
that may not necessarily stop her, but at least slow her down so they can run away, and then
Excellent.
we can get the cub.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Excellent. All right, you two make cunning tests, and I guess Niha, since you're approaching, go ahead and make a persuasion test.
Yeah. I changed as well. I did my
Okay.
resolute. Yeah.
And so make a persuasion test as well.
Okay.
Kavarak will be prepared to knock out or knock down the mother if necessary.
I rolled a 3.
Excellent.
Yay!
All right.
How'd you do, Nia?
Oh, on the what am I making a persuasion?
Persuasion, yeah.
Yes.
My persuasion is 13. My result is
Any way to aid?
8. is
They've
my
got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys move forward as these bear-like creatures, very carefully showing that you are not an adversary. So they kind of the mother kind of comes out, sniffs you guys a little bit, and then leaves you alone. The bear kind of playfully batting at your ears.
No.
What do you guys do now?
Let's make a trail of these berries to get the cub away, and then once we're far enough away, then take the cub and sprint to the barbarian encampment.
All right, excellent. So you guys don't have to make a test to put berries down, obviously. So you guys, as in these little bear forms, start to like take the little berries and put
Come
them.
on, Yogi.
Yeah. The mother kind of returns back to the cave. As you guys kind of lead them off, the mother kind of does look a little agitated as you guys move a little bit further ahead. The last check you guys need to make is a quick test to get the fuck out. As long as half of you guys succeed, you guys can make it, helping each other along the way.
Okay.
What is it?
Quick.
Quick.
I
Quick's
rolled a
11.
1.
My result is 7.
Quick at
Ooh.
13. My
I
result
rolled a
was
4.
I think we all made it.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. All right,
got a
you
1.
guys are able to carefully move about and lead the bear through.
Like we know we want to get the fuck out of there.
Exactly. You guys run as if a mother bear could rip you guys a new
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys return with this bear cub, and as you do, Dakar bows to you and says, "Thank you. I'm glad you were able to do it without hurting the mother. That's always a good show of strength. We all make each other stronger as a whole when we help." And he brings out several horses and gives you each one. This is for thanks. And he bows again as Luthar returns to you with his own horse and smiles. "Well, looks like something good came out of this. We have one final stretch of the journey, and then it'll be done. Let's drink and be merry for at least the remaining time that we have."
Yeah.
So you guys spend more time heading to Karvosti. In total, it takes from the beginning of your journey to when you finally reach Karvosti, it's been a month. So you guys have been a month away from your homes. As you guys arrive, Karvosti, which is on a plateau, the capital, so to speak, of the barbarian tribes, you come upon a glow of a bonfire, looking out towards the plateau and the woods underneath. An elderly woman with an animal skull necklace is standing with Theraban in front of a crowd. She motions for you all to step forward, looking into each of your eyes.
Step forward.
"I am Yelita." Everyone knows her name. She is the leader of the barbarian witches. "Announce your name and clan to everyone."
I am Magbrod, Clan Inui.
Niha, Clan Inui.
Soma, Clan Godinja.
Tavarak, Clangawa.
And as you guys say this, she takes crimson paint in her hand from this bowl, marking each of you as she goes through. Welcome to the barbarian clans. You have Davukar's blessing, as well as the blessing of every person here. I hope in the coming days we'll hear great things from each of you. And with that, you guys enjoy a final night here as the people kind of bring you wine and food and gifts of all sorts, such as trinkets and such, now that you guys are finally seen as adults in their society. Before you guys leave each other, maybe to go back to your clan or to go off to adventuring in different areas such as Ambria or Thistlehold or some of the other barbarian clans, you guys are given a respite as you guys are circled around a bonfire. Most people are sleeping as you guys stand under the night sky.
Magbrod is going to kind of be silent and take out the artifact and try and open his mind to it.
All right, roll 1d4 for me.
Yeah.
I'll wander in.
So I'm rolling. I have a D8. I didn't have a D4, so it's just I'm gonna half it, whatever
Okay.
it is. All right. So I rolled a 3.
All right, you take 3 corruption.
Oh man.
You,
Okay.
as it speaks to you, it tells you it is the wounded stone, and it will help you survive if you let it. Mechanically, the next
Yeah.
time, during like a 24-hour period, if you ever take damage, you can delay that damage
Okay.
for 1d10 hours. But every time you do, you take 1d4 temporary corruption.
Ooh. Okay. And is there any physical change that happens?
No. If
Okay.
someone would look at you with witch sight right now, you might look a little tainted.
Got
But
a little taint.
yeah, a little taint. But no.
But yeah, he would be holding the thing and kind of be whispering to it.
I'll nod to the weird thing that he's holding and then to the stars in the sky and hold up whatever cup thing that they gave for drinks. Probably really strong alcohol now that we're adults.
Oh yeah.
And be like, to the race that protected us in their glorious battle. And take a swig of the drink.
Tavarak will raise to those we've lost long ago and closer still. As he takes a drink.
To new
Alright.
experiences. Zal points to the magical people.
Sure.
Yeah, new experiences. Yeah. He'll look to Nia. New experiences.
Yeah. I'll look at my shoulder.
What does he have?
So
Oh, we would have seen it by now.
No.
Right?
yeah, so you can't look at
None
your
of
own
you've seen it.
shoulder.
I'll look at my shoulder, but not my tattoo.
Yeah, your shoulder's fine. You can use a mirror if you want to look at your tattoo.
What's he have?
Are you gonna show it?
Not. No.
Then it shall remain a mystery,
Yes.
at least for this
Not
time.
even to me. I don't even want to look at it. Petrified.
You're like, nah, bro.
But I'll drink
But
about it.
pretend it's not there. It doesn't exist.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of Rite of Passage, written by Mitchell as well as D South. Thank you guys for playing. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. For those watching, you can find more from Deep South at his blog, which I will post in the chat. Furthermore, this is for a contest, which I am linking in the chat, where you can eventually vote for our adventure later this month, before May 31st. So once you see the Rite of Passage on there, please, 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 please vote for us if you thought it was a fun time or enjoyed watching. And more importantly, I hope you guys can use this in your own games, especially if you want to play a barbarian-centric Symbaroum game.
Darn those embryums.
I
Play a
know,
barbarian.
right? Once again, I am Mitchell from Penny for a Tale. You will find us next Sunday. You will find us this Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where Ian will be continuing his Pathfinder game of Hell's Rebel. Super excited about that. Other than that, find me Monday at 8 p.m. on Taker Talk, where I will be playing a one-shot for Relics, a Game of Angels. As well as Tuesday, you will find me at James Corp around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hanging out with my friends over the pond as we continue our campaign of Relics, a Game of Angels. It has been a wonderful pleasure. I will let each of these wonderful people give a send-off, starting with Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex Roth. You can find me here at Penny for a Tale. Twitch handle is Sailor Taco Cat. You can find me on Facebook, direct message me. Other than that, I am nowhere else.
All right, Ian.
I've been Ian. Yeah, you can find me on this Twitch, basically.
Always and forever. And Sunday, you will
Very
find
much,
Ian.
especially Sunday.
Especially
All day on Sunday.
if you looked at Ian and was like, you know what, I want more of that guy. Come Sunday, you'll get a lot of it.
Bad decisions
Rethink
all
things,
around.
but yes.
Expect awesome things. All right, Christina.
Hi, I'm Christina. I don't really have anything to plug. If you like this, here's the kitty that was making everything a pain in the butt. Say hi. Hi.
Bonus cat points.
Yeah.
Yes, bonus cat points.
Everyone wins.
If you visit Penny for a Tale, you may see the cat more often, so you should subscribe and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully, we can have a game filled with just cats.
So great.
All right, Mr. Smith.
I am Mr. Smith. You can find me in my writings at IamMrSmith.com. Mitch, thank you for another wonderful game, as usual.
It is my pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, it is way too late. Go to your bed. Be healthy. Sleep in. Or stay up because it's too late. We love
It is
you.
Friday
Pretty much early now.
Yeah.
or
Good
Saturday
morning.
now.
Find a Waffle House.
School tomorrow.
Oh, man. Yeah. Everyone, go to bed.
Yeah, really.
Bye.
That's gonna be good night.
Bye.